Yards and Stitches, and I'm Mary. This is quilt tube number 21 for me. And I know it's been a minute or two, but you know, summer gets busy. I've had lots of stuff going on, and my grandchildren have been here quite a bit, just with their dad visiting, and I drop everything and do what they need me or want me to do, because, you know, after you raise your own kids, you kind of figure out how fast kids grow up. But anyway, this is a channel about quilty and just all things fibery. You'll find out later on in these series of things that I'm doing. I've been way on the quilt track lately, and that's where I live most of the time. But I also do some felted wool and embroidery and other things. And I've got a little piece I'm going to talk about here in just a minute of felted wool. But I'm sitting outside today because here in Northeast Missouri, on the first week of most schools going back, we are having this just odd weather. I taught for a long time, and typically we'd have a cool spell in August, and then all of a sudden it would be back to that 95 whatever. And I think this weekend we're going to have 90s again. But right now our highs are in the 70s during the day, and our evenings are really cool, and it's just glorious. And I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna sit outside today and do a little binding and talk to my my YouTube people. And that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting out on my front porch. I live in a really old farmhouse on top of a hill, and you know, you can see back there kind of what I look at every day, and I'm just sitting out here enjoying the weather. And I am also tacking down binding, which I hope to get finished here pretty quick, because I'm ready for this to hang in the shop where it's supposed to hang. I'm teaching a class, a beginner class, using this Christmas Joy by Lo and Behold. These are art gallery fabrics that I've chosen. I'm not familiar with the company that did the back, so I'm not even going to try, but I'll look it up and put it in my notes and stuff for discussion. But isn't it cool? Anyway, I finished quilting it, and I have to tell you, I bought this, I don't know if you can see it. I bought this snowflake edge to edge from, I think it's called Wasatch Designs. The designer for the quilting design is Nancy Hackey, and let me tell you, I love her stuff. I have Pro Stitcher, and when you get Pro Stitcher, you get, oh, I don't know how many quilting quilt designs come with that. And I find myself more and more and more sending my customers to go to Nancy Hackey and look at. And I find myself more and more on things for me doing, oh, Nancy Hackey. Oh, let's go look and see what she's got. I bet she has something. Anyway, I love this pattern, and I will use it again. I bought this one straight, this design straight from Wasatch. And I will have all that spelled out for you somewhere on the site. But I didn't pay a lot of attention to the backtracking that had to be on it, because it just looked beautiful to me. It just looked beautiful. And I used my favorite thread. I love a thread color in Omni by Superior Threads. It's called Tapestry Taupe. It's got a lavender look to it, but a taupe look to it. And it's one of those that you can use on, well, I have lots of colors, not nearly enough, but I have lots of colors, and I'm always willing to, you know, order more. I mostly use So Fine and Omni by Superior Threads, because that's just what I'm comfortable with. No other reason. Sometimes I'll use the Magnifico or Fantastico, but I struggle with that a little bit. I'm not big on my thread being super shiny, but there are times when you want it to shine. And I just love this tapestry taupe on this green, but I use tapestry taupe and butter omni colors so much. And I really think it brought the pink out. And these are the colors. I think I've told you, I decorate my house in these colors at Christmas time. And obviously I like that color of green. But I'm just in love with it. But let me tell you, here's where I was going with that. Let me tell you that this particular design uses a lot of bobbins. So if you choose it, which, you know, I think you should, go look at her stuff and use some of her patterns if you don't, or her designs, if you don't already have them. Or go look at them in your list on your Pro Stitcher. Nancy Hackey, but she uses a lot of thread. This one used a lot of thread, and it's kind of heavy, so I'm kind of looking forward to getting it finished so I can rinse it out and fluff it up and get it ready to hang and maybe soften it up, because I do starch. I use quite a bit of starch, but so that's what I'm doing today. I'm sitting out here yakking at you, doing a little handiwork. I'm working on a binding. I have another piece I'm binding, and I want to talk about what I'm doing with my binding, because I'm not doing my usual. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but I bet you have. It's just one big block that I did. I just took from, you know, the idea and the pattern for So Kind of Wonderful rulers, and I love it. I don't know. One of my customers and a dear friend of mine were here today, and one of them, Laura, said, well, what are you going to do with that? I said, I don't know, Laura, but I like it. So I might just lay it on the back of a chair come Christmas, because, again, it blends with a lot of my Christmas decorations. And I did some free motion on this and some ruler work. I love this Sister Bay motif fabric. I've used this in a couple, and it was just a piece I had left over to put on the back. Let me tell you, I have quilted for a long time, and I make mistakes just like everybody else, and in some places I could see when I trimmed this I didn't have enough room for my points. And I had already quilted it, so adding a border wasn't really something I wanted to try to figure out. I'm going to use this as a table topper or something, you know, it's going to be okay. But I always do a double fold binding, you know, where you sew it to the front, you flip it to the back, and you stitch it down. That's what I do normally, and I have great luck with it. But I felt like I couldn't control some of these points if I sewed to the front and stitched to the back. So I had a little bit of the backing left over, and I am trying kind of a single fold binding. I know Pat Sloan does that a lot, and I'm not much on tacking I tack by hand. I put it down by hand. I attach with my machine, and then I fold and turn. It is something I just enjoy doing. I just love it. I want to sit at night and have something in my hand to do. And I love the way it looks. And a lot of times I use, 80 to 100 weight thread. So, get it hidden in there. And I just love it. If I'm swinging and making you nauseous, I'm sorry. And if you hear something that sounds like a little motor, it's because the hummingbirds have decided to join us for a little while. And if you see me looking, it's because I'm watching them. This year I have had hummingbird swarms. So I think today I have about 6 buzzing around. I can even hear them with the house all closed up in my living room because, this is my porch. And if I'm in my bedroom, my patio's out behind my bedroom. Excuse me, I thought I was going to sneeze. Anyway, I can hear them out at that set of feeders too. So if you hear anything, that's what you're hearing. So let me tell you what I did. So I cut a much narrower piece of fabric than I would to make binding. I cut my binding at 2 1/4, fold it in half. Works well for me. So I cut this at 1 3/4, took a 1/2 inch off, and and I didn't do this the way I normally do because I was just a little frustrated at the time. But I sewed it to the back, attached it to the back, pressed it, and now I am folding it right to the edge, and I fold it over and try not to lose every bit of my point and stitch it down. Now I haven't gotten very far on this one because I got that other quilt done, my other quilt, the one that's in my lap, but I think it looks good. It's not real full, so it's not going to win any awards, but I think it looks good, and I think it's going to be okay. I'm losing a little bit there in my points, but I'm not losing near what I was going to lose if I sewed to the front and flipped to the back and all of those things. So kind of a fussy do it binding. I know a lot of people will go through here and use a decorative stitch, and they have it all figured out to put it down by the machine. And someday I might master that, but I'm not gonna swear that I'm even gonna give it a try. So there we go. Anyway, got these two under control. I have some other bindings on, ready for some other types of things that I'm getting ready to do. I have another class quilt that's up on my design board, and maybe I'll show you some of that stuff at the end. If you live in the area, I am teaching classes at September 14th at Cindy's Nifty Stitches. We're doing this particular quilt called Christmas Joy by Lo and Behold. And on September 23rd, I am teaching at Stitch and Clip in Lintner, Missouri, which both are very near Highway 36 Shop Hop. And oh my gosh, guess what happens in a couple of, maybe a week and a half? September and October are the All Missouri Shop Hops. So if you're out shop hopping on either of those days, stick your head in where I'm at and say hi. Or sign up and take a class with me and go ahead and shop those two stores. There's a store right next door to Cindy's that's lovely called Hickory Stick that, it has been in the Better Homes and Garden magazine, I forget what it's called, but the one that showcases a shop in several states, and I think you get 15, something like that, and it comes out a couple of times a year. It's been in there before, and it's a fun shop with lots of stuff. So sign up and take the class or whatever. I'll show you falling in a few days, or maybe I'll put a few pictures up at the end. So in addition to all my sewing, I have gotten back into, and I don't know where I put it. Hang on, I'm gonna bend over here and pick it up. I've gotten back into needle felting. Okay. And right now I am working on felting a shape, like a core shape, so that I can go back. And I've kind of decided, let me put some glasses on for a second so I don't hurt myself. Anyway, I have kind of decided that maybe I would do some gifts and put on the shop on my website that people can purchase for sewers and quilters. And so I'm making a few 100% wool pin cushions. Wool is really good for your for the sharpness of your needles and pins. And I will keep you updated on that and let you know. I made a chicken the other day and gave to a friend for, just because she's my friend, but for her pins. She had bought some new pins, and she wanted a new pin cushion so she could keep the new ones separate from the older ones and use them for various reasons. And I thought, I haven't made a pin cushion in a while, and she would have taken one I have stockpiled somewhere, and she might have liked it better, but it just felt fun. And I'll stick a picture in so you can see when I get done here. I'm kind of working on a core shape, which I do on a skewer, and I will get this nice and solid so it'll stand up. You know, if you've never done it, it's basically barbed needles. They have different shapes and barbs and sizes, and you poke wool roving, which I can pull a piece off here like this. That's how you needle felt. And people make the most beautiful pictures, like landscapes, just like we do in quilting. That's not something I've gotten very good at yet. I do have a felting foot for my machine, and I'm hoping to be able to show you that as soon as I get some quilting caught up, and maybe do some of that for you one day. And I kind of like to mix that with some embroidery and you know, some of those Sue Spargo ideas, stitches, which I have not mastered by any means, but I love to get the book out and look and practice one and do it a little bit every now and then. And so I want to show you that. But I'm thinking about getting these little shapes done, getting me some ahead, so that when I just need a little breather and these cooler days, I'm telling you, these cooler days have me thinking about fall. And my life slows down a little bit in fall. I mean, I'm retired. You would think I wouldn't be that whatever, but I just, I don't know, I just feel more relaxed in the fall. It's my favorite time of year, fall, winter, spring. Summer gets just to be a little too hot for me. I'm just not into it. But I do love the change of seasons that I get here. And so, anyway, it kind of made me think about poking at wool. And so I drug some out, and I'm getting after it, and hopefully over the next few weeks I'll be able to show you a few that I get finished in between things. I like to have stuff I can take in the car. This is something I can do in the car. I just take one of those, you have to have something to poke on. This is just a foam one. I also have a nice wool one that I use, that, you know, I can set on my lap. But I also sometimes will take like those little desks that you, like lap desks that you buy for kids or dorm rooms or whatever, where they have a hard surface and they're padded on the bottom. Sometimes I have one of those that I carry around when I'm doing EPP or I'm doing wool work. And then when I'm taking a log trip, excuse me, in a car, sometimes I take them with me and do some poking or some stitching and get things done. So hopefully I will be able to show you those. Show you some soon. I guess that means my husband and I are going to have to take a road trip. I could do that. I could do that. I cannot wait for October to get here, because we take, since I've retired from teaching, we typically take a pretty good week, full 7-day trip to, because my husband still works, so we usually take a vacation, and we take it in the fall. And because I love fall, he humors me, and we go north a lot. We've done Vermont, we've done Maine, we've been to Rhode Island in the summer. We went to Maine in the summer, but you would have thought it was still winter up there. We went early in June, and it was chilly, and we had packed for chilly, but not that much. We had to go find an outlet store and get some hoodies and stuff. So we do better. That was one of our first big trips, childless trips, a while back. About 13 years ago, I guess. About 13 years ago. I'd go back. Anyway, we love Minnesota. We go up there a lot. This year, we're going to Oregon, and we're going to do the Oregon coast. So I'm really excited about that. I've looked, and there's several little quilt stores that I can pop into. Of course, we love to hike and walk, and we wouldn't be beyond renting bikes or kayaks or whatever, and doing that, weather permitting. I have no idea what the temperature is going to be. I'm hoping during the day 60s, because that's just like perfect hiking temperature. So anyway, I'm rambling on, and I really don't have anything else to talk about. I talked about my binding, and I kind of talked to you about what I was doing with that, and talked to you about pulling the wool out and the cooler temperatures. So I guess I really wasn't all that prepared. Now was I? I just kind of sat down and said, hey, to my YouTube friends, because I just haven't been on here in a while. I've been busy doing things and not all of it quilty. So anyway, I sure hope that you are having a terrific week and the weather's a little cooler or a little warmer if you prefer at your house. Talk to you soon. Leave me a comment. Tell me. Uh-oh, I think my dog wants in. I'll have to take a break. Hold on. She does. So let me finish up. If this is your first time you found me and you like what you see, please think about, giving me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't. Leave me a comment. Tell me about some of your hobbies beyond the world of quilting, if you have some, or about fall weather in your area so I can put that on my list of places to visit, because I sure do like a good fall vacation. Or just say hey, just say hey. I love to visit. So it wouldn't hurt my feelings if you subscribed either. So I'll see you soon. Have a great weekend.